It
Yes.
reads,
The most
Uganda
useless
reached
African.
Uganda reaches agreement with US to take in some failed asylum seekers. The lead says African countries' foreign ministry says the two states are working on the details of a deal over deportees. That's the great man himself. Uganda has reached an agreement with the US to take in deportees from third countries who may not get asylum or are reluctant to go back to their own countries, according to Uganda Foreign Ministry. The country will not accept people with criminal records or unaccompanied minors under the temporary arrangement, the Foreign Ministry Permanent Secretary said in a statement. He did not say whether Uganda was receiving any payment or other benefits or how many deportees it will accept. Your initial thought?
Okay, you want me to go first?
Yes, please.
I mean, this to me is and I know in another show we discussed South Sudan, right?
Yes, we did.
It's the risk that these fictitious countries in Africa present to the entire security of African people generally,
Okay.
Because something like this obviously is not even voted in parliament, right? So you have an absolute monarch / dictator who just thinks what is in my best interest. And that's what the decision is based on. Same thing in South Sudan when they accepted how many? Six, I think, in July. Same thing in Eswatini,
Yeah.
formerly Swaziland. Same thing in Rwanda. This is a Kagame decision, not a decision by
The people.
the Rwandan people or Rwandan government or parliament. The same thing we have in Uganda. This is one of the most neo-colonial leaders we have in Africa. Very tragic. This is the only, Mobutu and even Amin, these were really wicked dictators. But strangely, in their own peculiar way, they actually loved Africa. This is a guy who, when during his first term, Trump said, the S word to refer to African countries and Haiti. And people who are not familiar, and sometimes, I see people praising him online for standing up to the words and not allowing them to do anything when he says, oh, we're going to go after LGBTQ in Uganda. Yes, this is an African standing up. So they try to portray him as pro-African. These are people that don't realize that when Trump used the S word, he said, I love Donald Trump. And people can go and Google and look at the headline and read the articles, right? This is a guy and he plays all sides. So when the Republicans are in power, boom, fully in bed with them. Democrats fully in bed with them. So in 1994, because he's been there 40 years now, so, his transgressions go way back. In an interview with Atlantic Monthly Magazine, he said, I've never blamed the white man for taking slaves from African countries. If you're stupid, you should be taken as slave. Wow. I've never blamed the white man for colonizing Africa. I don't even know how many Africans are aware of these things that he says, right? So this is just, par for the course. This is consistent with his behavior. And why is he doing this now? Because Uganda has elections in January. I think it's January 26, 2026. And he knows that after he steals the election, there could be some strong statements. There are never any action, just strong statements from the so-called Western countries. So now he wants to neuter the possible reaction by the United States, because now Trump would say, oh, this is our guy. He's going to be taking anybody we kick out. Let him do whatever he wants.
He's a good man.
If he wants to steal election and then lock up Bobby Wine, so be it. My only hope is that people come out to the streets like they've been coming out in Ivory Coast, like they did in Senegal, and finally drive this dictator out of power. So that's my reaction to this.